Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Coco Nuts. I am Coco, and today I am going to show you the different styles of stitches, the basics. In my previous video I had done that, but I didn't realize at the time that stitches were completely off camera. So this time I'm going to do much better. Plus I wanted to give another tutorial on how to do these basic stitches so everyone has an idea. And then we'll learn more as we go along. I'm just going to show you different ways to do the basic stitches, maybe even a treble crochet. Any size yarn, any size hook will do for this. It just depends. I'm just going to do squares. Well, I'll just do rows, not squares, but I will start out with the basics, like how to do a magic ring, which is for a granny square, and other projects. And then I will start with a chain and then move on from there. Now, magic ring is something that everyone struggles with. It's not easy at all, but there's an easy way to do it. And this is my version. Okay, so to do a magic ring, I'm going to take that yarn, pull the end in your right hand, and the other end in your left, and then wrap it around your fingers like that. Put the hook under that first strand, over the second, pull and twist, and then wrap underneath the other yarn, and then pull through the loop on your hook. So there is your magic ring. And then when you crochet using the magic ring, sometimes it's best to keep this tail in your stitches so that you don't have to worry about it later. In my previous video I also explained two different ways to do a slip knot. I will again show you the more difficult one that I know, and then the easiest one that I know, the one I use the most because it's so easy. With your right hand again, wrap that yarn around the other one and grab that and twist, and then with your two fingers put inside the loop and try to grab that other yarn and then pull through, and then there you have a slip knot. Alright, so let's try that again just to make sure. So hold one end in your right hand and the other end in your left, and you're going to make a loop like that, and then twist, and then with your two fingers pull that other yarn through that loop, and there you have a slip knot. That's a little more trickier. It's easy, but it's trickier. The easiest way that I know, so many different ways, is wrap the yarn around your fingers just like a magic ring. But you're going to grab that second yarn, pull it over the first yarn, grab that first yarn, pull it over the second yarn, grab that second yarn, so it's twisted like that. Just twist it, grab that second yarn and pull. Make sure you grab that tail, and there's your slip knot. Let's do that one more time. So wrap the yarn around your two fingers like that. Grab that second yarn, put it over the first yarn, so it makes an X. Grab that yarn here, that first yarn, pull it over the second yarn, and then grab that second yarn and tug while you hold the tail. So there's your slip knot. Those are two different ways to do a slip knot. Whatever works for you, and I know you can find other ways to do it, but that's what works for me. Okay, so onto the chain. I've heard that it's best to do a chain of an odd number, so let's do 15 chains. So to do a chain, now tension in your left hand, because the tighter you hold the string, the tighter your stitches will be. Hold the hook with your right. Make sure you keep that tail out of the way. So you're going to yarn over your hook like that. And then you're going to pull through the loop. And that's chain 1. Now it might be best to put a stitch marker in your first and last chains so that you are sure where to start and where to end. Because for a first timer, it can get a little confusing. That's just some advice coming from somebody who's made tons of mistakes. Alright, so on to chain number 2. Remember, yarn over, grab that yarn with your hook and pull through. Chain 2, yarn over, and 3, yarn over and pull through. It's 4, 5, 6, 7, let's start off with a single crochet. Going to put your hook into that center braid here. Crocheting into the first chain is very difficult. So once that hook is into that stitch, you have 2 yarns on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through. You still have 2 more yarns on your hook. Yarn over again and pull through 2. So that's a single crochet. We'll do it again into the next stitch. Insert your hook to that chain. Yarn over. Pull through. Yarn over again. And pull through the last 2. So I'm going to continue doing this. We did 2, so we have 12 more. I'm going to continue doing this until we get to the last one. Okay, so now we made it to our last stitch, and you should be at 13 stitches so far. So just do that last stitch, single crochet, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over again, and pull through the last 2. Okay, so once you get to that last row, now since we did single, if we were going to do more single, we would chain 1 for a turning chain, but I'm going to do half doubles, so we're going to chain 2. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over again, pull through, and then turn your work, because you always want to work from right to left. Half double. And that's our first stitch right here, because this is the chain. That's the chain. This is our first stitch. So you're going to want to yarn over, and then insert your hook into that stitch, but you're going to yarn over again, and you should have 3 loops on your hook, and then yarn over again, and then pull through all 3, and that is a half double. And we're going to do it again. So yarn over and put it into that stitch right there, and then you should have 3 on your hook. Yarn over again, pull through, 3 there, yarn over again, and pull through the last 3. Okay, so I'm going to continue until we get to the end. Don't forget, yarn over, pull through, should have 3, yarn over again, and pull through the last 3. So if you're ever confused about how many stitches you've done, you just count. It could be a pain depending on what you're working on, but that chain, sometimes it counts, sometimes it doesn't. Okay, so that you can tell that these are small stitches at the bottom. The chain, the small stitches, and then the half double stitches. Okay, so let's do double crochet. Since we're at the end, we're going to chain 3 for double. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Okay, don't forget to turn. So now we're going to do double crochet. Yarn over to that first stitch right there. Insert your hook. So then you have 3 on your hook. Yarn over again, pull through. So that's the start of a half double, but we're doing double. So you're going to yarn over again, and instead of pulling through all 3, you're going to pull through 2. So now you have 2 loops left on your hook. Yarn over again and pull through the last 2. I'm going to do that one more time. So yarn over, go into the stitch, you have 3 on your hook, yarn over again, pull through, 3 loops on your stitch, your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, so you got 2 left, yarn over again, pull through the last 2, and that is a double crochet. I'm going to meet you back at the end. Make sure that we have all our stitches. Okay, 14. So that is a double, and you can see the difference. You can see the single crochet, the half doubles, and then the larger doubles, and you can see the whole differences. So that's how you can tell the difference between those 3. So for a treble or triple, I'm gonna chain 4. And then turn. For a triple, you're going to yarn over twice so that you have 3 twirlies or whatever on your hook. And then you're going to insert your hook into that first stitch so that you have 4. And you're going to yarn over and pull through. So you keep it at 4. And you're going to yarn over again, pull through 2, yarn over again, pull through 2, yarn over again, pull through the last 2. And that is a triple or treble crochet. Do that again. Yarn over twice. Insert your hook. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over again, pull through 2, yarn over again, pull through 2, yarn over again, pull through last 2. So you see how much difference there is with that. I don't really like the look. I guess it's all depending on what you're making, but I'm going to show you one last thing. I'm just going to show you what it looks like when you crochet at the top here. So let's do doubles. So we have a chain 3, and then we're going to yarn over, and instead of going into that stitch, we're going to go into the top, into the back right here. Then we're going to yarn over, pull through, I'll yarn over again, pull through 2. That one more time. To these back stitches here. But you see how it's making some kind of ribbed look here, like a ribbed look here too, but it looks like it has like a spine almost. It gives it a nice unique look. So you see how that is different to the other ones, because this right here is double crochet, but this is also double crochet, and you can see a braid here. You can't see a braid here. You see the braid there. That's what they mean when they say crochet into the back stitch. There's a curve from the chain. Otherwise, if there was no chain, it would have leaned over completely. I'll show you. Just finish this row, and I'll show you why you always need a chain. Just finish this row. So we already did that double. Let's just turn. They're like fighting with the yarn. You see how it kind of leans in? It has a weird look to it. Like it's stretching upwards. So let's try that again with a chain this time, so we can see the difference. So chain 3, and then turn, and start again. You see how it goes upward now? It isn't leaning over. That's why we do a chain. I want to do another back post stitching so that you can really see the difference between normal crocheting and backstitch crochet. So you see the difference between, it looks like it's on a ledge. It looks like it's a rib, like a spine. That's what a back stitch does. Gives that unique look to it. Next video I'll probably try to do a granny square. That way everyone can learn how to do slip stitching and everything else involved. But that's just the basics with these types of stitches. And when you are doing a project and you realize you made a mistake, when you pull all your stitches out, it's called frogging. And frog your project. I don't know why it's called that. As my cousin will say, I had to rip it out. I don't really like the term ripping, but frogging, it sounds kind of funny. So I say frogging. Also, when you do frog a project, First of all, I highly recommend not really yanking, and I'm yanking, but don't yank on your yarn because it will, sometimes really thin yarn will kind of bunch up and it will get stuck and you'll have to cut it. So I wouldn't recommend doing what I'm doing right now. Be gentle with it. Another thing I'd recommend is when you have this yarn, I would recommend wrapping it as soon as possible because, and this is why I call it spaghetti, but if you leave it unattended for too long or a certain way or whatever, it will tangle and you will be stuck with knotted yarn that you will spend hours trying to unravel. Now I'm going to show you how to make a tiny ball, just in case that ever happens. I mean, there's probably other ways to do it, but this is how I do it. So I just wrap the yarn around my fingers as much as I can. It's going to be a mess. Then I grab that and then just start rolling it. And I turn it around so that it doesn't roll in one direction and look and get too funky. Just roll it. Keep that grip on it because it will fall and it'll fall over the place. Roll across the room. You'll have to pull it back and it'll become unraveled again. Story of my life with crochet. And if you do end up having to cut a lot of yarn, I do not throw that scrap yarn out. That could be used for stuffing. If you're doing amigurumi or a hat or gloves or something, you don't want to throw all that scrap yarn out. You should keep it so that you have that stuffing and put it in a little bag like I do. Just put it in a little baggie. Have all kinds of scrap yarn in here. So if you ever need to stuff something, you have that. Next time, like I said, I will do a granny square. And there are so many different patterns with granny square, so I will find the prettiest one and the easiest one. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Happy crocheting!